Hey guys, welcome to linguamarina. Let's continue talking about the American accent. You know, something that happened to me, well, I would say recently, a couple years ago, when I was babysitting my aunt's dog, I started to talk to a lot of Americans who had a dog as well because I was walking my dog. And I walk with the dog and I hear people say, "Who's a good boy? Good boy." Or another phrase, "Who's a good girl?" So basically what I heard there, I heard them saying, not good boy. Who's a good boy? Nobody said that. They took the word good and replaced D with the first letter of a word that followed. Who's a goob boy? Goob boy. Who's a good girl? And if you pronounce it the way they did it, it was like, who's a good boy? Who's a good girl? And I was like, am I hearing something? And I was like, yes, I'm hearing something. And this is the way I learn accents. I just listen to people and I'm like, wow, this sounds confusing. This is not the way it's written. Sometimes I would just ask them to repeat because I want to understand what's going on. And they go on and explain me the way they pronounce it. And it's not a rule, guys. So whatever we're talking about in my videos about the pronunciation, these are not rules. This is just something that I notice when I walk around California and I hear people speak when I travel. And these are just notes that I'm sharing with you. Again, when we're talking about learning a language and understanding others, it's all about, first of all, it's all about understanding. Because when you know the tricks, you're able to understand them better. But also, like if you decide someday that you want to adopt some of the accents like I did when I first came to the US, I was ordering coffee and I said hot coffee and they gave me cold coffee because you pronounce hot this way, not hot. You say hot. And I had to drink cold coffee it was New York and it was kind of cold. It was May. And I was a little upset and I told myself, I gotta learn American accent. And I think my accent has changed completely since I moved to the US, and it's changing every year. It's changing because I encounter more and more people. I encounter more and more situations where people would say something and I would be like, wow, this is weird. Like, we need to stop here. I need to analyze this. So let's move into the video. Let's continue with whatever I just mentioned. Why do native speakers do this? Why do they say good boy, good girl? Again, the rule here is that they just want to speed up everything. And English is this great language to sing in. So whenever you're singing, you just want to emit sounds. You want to emit something that stops you, that makes you kind of stop and take a breath. You just want to connect everything. So good boy is a little like, good girl is a little, But if you say good boy, it's like one word. Good boy. Easy, right? This is why people do that. This is called assimilation or sound change in the English language, and it is quite common. Another example of the sound change is white paper. White paper. So I kind of say white paper, but because I'm connecting, it's even like one sound. It's not white paper. White paper is British. So British is this formal kind of language where you try to pronounce more sounds than Americans do. And white paper is very British. White paper is very American. Another great example, speedboat. Americans, I guess, don't say speedboat. I don't say speedboat. I say speedboat. Speedboat. But then it's connected. So speedboat.
The speedboat.
So you see what's happening here? Just, I do not expect that you would use it. I just want you to realize that it is happening because it would help you understand native speakers a lot better. And because of the way the different sounds are made in our mouth, sometimes we get a completely different situation. Let me give you an example. I can go now, and it sounds like can't go. So we kind of add another G at the end of the word can.
I can go.
Can buy. I can buy. Instead of saying can buy, I say can buy. I can buy this.
You can buy new ones.
Again, because can buy is just a lot of movement that has to happen in my mouth. But if I say can buy, I'm already shutting my mouth in order to pronounce the sound B. And it's can buy. So yeah, I know they don't teach that at school because there is no formal rule on when you replace the sound N with M. This is something you learn on this YouTube channel. So if you're not yet subscribed, you know what to do. Green Park. It's Green Park. It's not Green Park, the way it's pronounced. Do you want to take a walk at Green Park on Monday? On Monday. Are you joining me for a class on Monday? On Monday. Something like this. Some of the other thing we talked about in my previous videos about how to sound like a native speaker and speak English faster. If you haven't watched them, you totally have to watch them. The links will be down below. They're really important for, I guess, anyone who's learning English, because if you don't want to speak fast, at least you want to be able to understand other people. So we talked about elision, where sounds disappear, and just wanted to remind you of a couple examples, because sometimes when letters T and D appear between two consonants, they tend to disappear. Let me give you some examples. That was the worst job I've ever had. But I would really say, that was the worst job I've ever had. You see, T disappeared. Worst job. Where is it? I don't know. Just one person came to the party. Just one person came to the party. Where is T? I don't know.
Just one.
And let me give you a couple last examples that would blow your mind. Handbag. It's handbag, but N and D are replaced by an M. So D disappears, right, because of elision. And then N is replaced by M because of sound change, assimilation. So handbag, D disappears, N is changed into M. Handbag. Who taught you that? I don't know. St. Paul's Cathedral. Again, what happens here? T disappears because of elision, but then N is replaced with an M because of assimilation. St. Paul's Cathedral. It's not St. Paul's Cathedral. Well, in Great Britain, it's St. Paul's Cathedral. But in America, St. Paul's Cathedral. The next tip, open your mouth. When you try to speak English fast and you hear native speakers speak English fast, you are tempted to just speak fast. But the way it works with native speakers, they've done it so many times. They pronounce so many sounds. It comes naturally. When you try to speak fast without enough practice, we tend to eat sounds. And I made this mistake. Again, when I came to the US, I wanted to sound more natural. And I started just speaking as fast as I could. Normally I'm a fast speaker. Even like when I'm speaking Russian, people complain on my Russian channel that I speak too fast. Maybe you complain. You don't complain. You guys, the nicest audience I've ever had. You never complain, you only thank me. But I know I can be too fast sometimes. The thing is, in some cultures like Russian, or I would say some Asian cultures, we don't open our mouth the way Americans do. So and sometimes it is crucial, like pen and pan. Two completely different words. And you see how I open my mouth when I say pan. That makes a huge difference. Bad versus bed. Two completely different words. Again, if you mess it up, if you forget to open your mouth, people will probably guess the meaning of the word just from the context. But, you know, sometimes the context is also confusing and you don't want to confuse people too much all the time. So open your mouth. Bed versus bad.
Bed. Bad.
Pack versus peck. And let's practice some listening skills. I'm gonna say a word and you need to guess which word it is, which one came first. And beg, bag, pat, pet. Completely different words. Present perfect versus past simple. Another thing kind of differs from British English to American English, but basically what happens in British English, they tend to use present perfect more. In Great Britain, they say I've just arrived home, which is kind of grammatically more correct than using past simple, because when you say I've just arrived, that means you're stating the fact that you're at home, and present perfect would be the perfect tense here. In America, again, people tend to simplify everything, and Americans would say I just arrived. It's faster, right? In terms of like grammar, I would say, well, it works, but still when we use past simple, we want to add more details. We're telling a story, but we're not stating our current state. We state actions in the past. With present perfect, we kind of want to emphasize that we're at home. So in this very case, I would say present perfect is more correct, but Americans use past simple. That doesn't mean that if you are learning American accent, you don't have to learn a present perfect. You have to. Oh, and by the way, guys, if you're still confused about the tenses, if you need more information on tenses, if you need tables, if you need explanations, if you need additional videos from me, I have the whole workbook that focuses on English language, but we have the whole section on English tenses. I try to explain them in the easiest way possible because I know how important they are and how confusing they are. And we also have a lot of tables that would help you learn more idioms, learn more vocabulary, learn necessary grammar, so the link will be down below. It costs $7.95, and I think it's a great chance for you guys to have some materials while you go through my videos and learn English. The link down below, check it out, my English language workbook. And the last but not the least for today, exaggerate. Americans exaggerate everything. I guess, well, American culture is like everything is so bright here. Everything is so amazing. And, you know, people just, I don't even know, when they're positive, they're really positive. When they tend to be less negative, and I kind of like it, again, coming from a culture where people are not like showing their emotions too much. But the thing is, when I came to the US, when everyone is smiling, when everyone is like, oh my God, your dress is amazing, that just helps me get through the day. I feel happier. I don't know, it depends on the kind of person you are, but I personally like it. And if you want to sound more American, this salad is not good. This salad is absolutely the best salad I've ever eaten my whole life.
This is the best thing I've ever tasted.
Or, this video is not just a good video. Oh my God, this was the best video I've ever seen in the past few years. Oh my God, Marina, you're amazing. Do this in the comments. Or another thing that's kind of confusing, when you text someone on the phone and you've been texting each other for like a couple of months and they call you friend. Again, in a culture where I come from, this is unacceptable. Like, friends are people who you hang out with for years, who you trust, you've seen many, many times. Again, it's just another cultural aspect that you have to understand, have to learn, not necessarily use it, but just understand that this is the way it works most of the times in the US. Thank you guys so much for watching this video up to the very end. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel, there's a red button down below, hit subscribe, and we'll see you very soon in the next videos. Bye bye.